Welcome back to our Steven. Your password hint is apples, and today, from a scammer impersonating a police officer to a romance scam that spiraled into fake pregnancies, fake surgeries, and thousands of dollars lost, we're diving into some wild scam stories, all starting with a post titled, Fake Police Officer Scam. My 55-plus mom almost fell for this scam while she was by herself, so I feel like I should post it here to warn others. I was at work and my mom just so happened to be coming by my office to visit me on this particular day, which is the only reason we were able to intercept this scam. She texted me telling me that she was 5 minutes away from my office. 20 minutes pass. I text back asking if she's okay. She texts back and is freaking out about being on the phone in the parking lot outside my office, that she absolutely cannot hang up. I'm confused, so I go out to see what's up. Right as she parked, she got a call from a local USA phone number in our same area code. The man on the line had an authoritative voice with an accent local to our area, so it didn't raise any red flags there. He said he was an officer with the Metro Police Department, gave his full name and badge number. She was too frazzled in the moment to check this info, but I'm assuming it was probably legit. Not sure where to check that either. He had her full name, address, phone number, and her email. He explained that she was sent several mail pieces telling her that she had been called in as an expert witness in a court case. She had failed to appear in court, which led to a warrant for her arrest. He even lists dates that letters were mailed to her about appearing in court. This woman is a 55-plus-year-old retired nanny, so I have no idea why she would be called in as an expert witness, but he explains that now the police are on their way to her house to find and arrest her, and that she has to pay a fine to the Metro PD in order to avoid arrest. Hanging up on him would lead to an immediate admission of guilt, and she would be arrested and never given the chance to pay her fees and walk away. She is losing her mind because she has no way to verify any of this, but it sounds legit coming from this guy, and she had just recently moved, so she thought maybe the letters got lost in the mail, forwarding to her new house. He keeps saying, "The police are already on their way, ma'am." He gives her an address to what looks like an office building nearby the actual police station in our area, ballsy move, and says she can go there immediately to turn herself in or pay the fee. I catch the tail end of this that pertains specifically to her paying money for something, and I immediately jump into the convo and say, yeah, that's not happening because he's a scammer. He gets super standoffish and tells me it's illegal for me to be on the phone because it's a criminal case at that point. I tell him to go ahead and send a squad car to arrest me as well, and I hang up. My mom loses her mind and is convinced the cops are going to start pulling up at any point. So, to prove to my mom that it's a scam, I called 911 on speakerphone. I explained the whole thing. A man with a badge number who claims to be a police officer is telling my mom she has to pay a fee to Metro PD for not appearing in court or be arrested. The 911 caller says the scam happens all the time, and Metro PD would never call and ask for money at any point. Anything legal or criminal would go through mail. My mom is shaken. She's pretty scam savvy and smart, so she can't believe how convincing the fake officer was. As she comes up to my office, the guy actually calls back. I answer the phone, and I'm like, dude, you lost your chance, just let it go. He starts spouting a bunch of legal codes and laws and says obstruction is a misdemeanor and whatnot. He's super ticked that he got cut off at the last second. At some point, I just sat there and listened to him because I felt like it was good to at least waste his time so that he's not trying this on another older person. After about 10 minutes of flying off the handle at us and receiving only, in response, he curses us out and hangs up. The police will never contact you via phone for a payment. They're able to spoof numbers from your local PD, and they're well trained on the right legal things to say to convince you that something is really wrong. They also use legit badge numbers and names, as far as I can tell, but they will never ask you to pay a fee over the phone. And they'll never warn you that officers are coming to get you if you don't pay them. Stay safe out there. Yeah, all you truly need to know is the fact that this guy went, "They're coming for you right now, we've sent them out, and the only way to stop them is by giving us money." That alone should set off anybody's scam radar. If the cops truly want to come pick somebody up, they're not going to tell that person in advance. They're not going to extort the person they supposedly are being sent out to collect. In the comments, a user named Utah's Devil wrote, "I'm glad your mom had you there to stop this." I think people need to stop considering themselves scam savvy though. It seems to do more harm than good. The OP replied, "I think she considers herself scam savvy because she can very easily spot the typical scam bait calls and pig butchering texts. She has watched various Kit Boga videos and knows all about gift card and crypto scams. But the best scams are the hardest to spot. They got her in a vulnerable position. After moving, the thing about losing the notice to show up in court sounded extremely credible, and with a very good actor playing the cop. She knows now to never listen when someone tries to hold her hostage on the phone and never hesitate to hang up and call the police if someone demands money. And speaking of demands, I would never make any, but it sure would be nice if you could hit those like and subscribe buttons down below." Our next story is Romance Scam Turned into Extortion. Fake pregnancy, fake surgery. I lost over $4,000. I feel incredibly stupid for falling for this, but the manipulation was insane. I'm sharing this so nobody else falls for the same script. I started dating a girl a few months ago. It didn't start with big asks. She started asking for small amounts for her grandmother, groceries, etc. It created a dynamic where I was the provider. Where it escalated, she traveled to another city supposedly to collect a severance payment. I paid for her tickets. She sent photos of her arrival, so I thought it was legit. Then the nightmare started. She claimed she was pregnant. This ordeal lasted about 5 weeks. I told her I was applying for a bank loan to help, but the process took time. She claimed she got the abortion pills on credit. She promised the seller I would pay once my loan arrived. When the bank loan got delayed, the pressure started. She invented a backstory. The person who gave her the pills on credit was connected to a dangerous criminal. She said that because the payment was late, this dangerous man was threatening us. Coincidentally, right after I paid for the abortion and still had some loan money left, she claimed she broke her ankle and needed urgent surgery. She said she didn't have any insurance, so the procedure's cost was about $2,250. She knew I had liquidity. She sent a generic photo of an injury. Pressured and exhausted from the previous threats, I transferred $1,000 directly to her bank account to save her leg. She never came back. She claimed she was robbed and her phone screen was smashed. She said a friend fixed it on credit because she had no cash. Then the story went from drama to a horror movie. She claimed that on this guy's phone, she accidentally saw a video of him torturing and dismembering someone. She told me that because she saw too much, the guy was threatening to end us. She said she had given him my home address and her grandmother's address when she dropped off the phone. She demanded money, $250, immediately to keep us alive. The story was so extreme that I finally confided in a coworker. He helped me investigate. We found her hidden Instagram account. She wasn't injured in Colombia. She was posting stories traveling in Seoul, in China. We contacted her mother, who worked for the same company. The mother confirmed she was traveling. That same colleague revealed that this girl was known for this behavior. She had previously tried to pin a fake pregnancy and child on one of his friends. It was her modus operandi. I confronted her with the evidence. She denied everything. My coworker also messaged her, and she got aggressive, telling him to mind his own business. She even tried to gaslight us by saying we didn't understand why her mother said that, trying to discredit her own mom to keep the lie alive. Then I blocked her. A month later, I received a text from an unknown number saying, "Your days are numbered." I don't even know if she blocked me or just muted me. It doesn't matter anymore. The money is gone, and I'm stuck paying monthly installments for a lie. I'm posting this to vent because I feel like an idiot, but hopefully my story saves someone else's wallet. To answer the recurring questions in the comments, yes, we met in person. We dated locally in my city before she traveled. We had an intimate physical relationship, which is why the pregnancy claim was plausible to me. This was not an online-only relationship. Her mother even works at the same company and building as me. I was scammed by someone I physically knew, not a stranger on the internet. I'll admit, a lot of this did seem fishy to me. I mean, I don't know why OP would have been paying for the pregnancy scare if it wasn't something that OP possibly could have been the one that contributed to. But if it's true that OP did meet up with them in person, and I'm assuming did something that could have led to that pregnancy scare, then I understand OP being a little bit more interested in investing some money into preventing that. The rest of it, though, are kind of ridiculous lies, and I don't mean to put the OP down, but it kind of reads like somebody that is just desperate for companionship. Like, I know dating in 2026 is rough out there, but is it that rough? Our next story is scammer tried to steal new computer on delivery day. This was a wild experience and a new scam tactic I hadn't seen before, so I wanted to post here and see if this, or something like it, has happened to them. I ordered a new Apple computer a couple of weeks ago. It was being shipped from the factory in China through UPS. Ordered through the Apple website. Everything was pretty much normal other than a 1-week delay up until delivery day. The day before delivery, the tracking said that it was at the local UPS department and would be delivered the following day. The morning of delivery day, I checked the tracking again, and it said that at 5:30 a.m., the package was put on the delivery vehicle, but then at 6 a.m., the receiver had submitted a request to reschedule the delivery. I had not sent anything to them to reschedule the delivery, so I contacted them and asked why this request had been submitted. Customer service at UPS had no information for me as to why this had happened, but after a bit of frustrating back and forth transfers to and from the international department, since the package had been shipped from China, I managed to get them to contact the delivery driver and tell him to still deliver the package. Then, a request to reschedule the delivery was submitted again, and again, I went through the pieces with customer service to make sure the delivery was made that day. After this whole ordeal, the delivery driver dropped off the package and I signed for it. He made a comment on how it had been quite the ordeal, and I agreed, but was thankful that I had received the package at the end of all of it. I opened up the box and started getting the new computer set up, when all of a sudden someone rang my doorbell. I opened the door and a random man who said he was an Uber Eats driver told me he needed to pick up a package that had recently been delivered. He was on the phone with someone who was telling him and me that the incorrect package had been delivered and that they needed to take it back so they can send me the correct item. I told him, no, I received the correct item. But he kept insisting, and the Uber Eats driver and I started looking at each other, picking up that this was a scammer. He suggested I tell the man on the phone that I wouldn't return the package until he sent me the correct item, just to see if this would throw him off. The guy on the phone started stammering and eventually said, okay, and hung up. The Uber Eats driver canceled the pickup on his end, and I thanked him for helping out. I figured that would be the end of that. An hour later, I spotted another person coming up on the driveway. This time, I'd already seen him walking towards the front door. I opened the door and he said, "I'm here to pick up a MacBook?" To which I simply replied, "No," and he pretty much got the message and left. I'm assuming he was another Uber Eats driver. Haven't had anything else happen since all of this. It was crazy to slowly put all the pieces together throughout the day that someone was trying to intercept the delivery and went all the way to sending Uber Eats drivers to my house to try and take the package away. Has anyone else experienced this delivery scam before? I later learned that apparently Uber Eats does have this package pickup service. Seems like it could be a bit sketchy and open up avenues like this for scammers. So, I think in the last scams video I did, we had something fairly similar. Something had been delivered, but in that case, it wasn't a package that the person had even ordered, and some guy shows up and they start banging on the door and the windows like, "Give us the package, I see you inside the house." Apparently, there really is an Uber option where you can send somebody out to pick up a package. It seems like the kind of thing that is very abusable, and I'm sure there is one once somebody explains it to me, but I'm failing to see where the real necessity of the service is that makes it worthwhile versus the potential abuse. I mean, it's definitely giving Uber a bad name here. In the comments, a user named RealBoBenRay wrote, "Someone seems to know all about your incoming Mac. When were they trying to reschedule the delivery for?" The OP responded, "It was kind of odd all around. The first time it said the reschedule was submitted, it simply said date pending. Then the second time, it said it was being rescheduled to a week later in the email, but reverted to the correct date on the tracking. I'm guessing it's possible that the second email that said the new date was also a part of the scam, but the link in that email still linked to the UPS tracking page." Another user named Anaphylaxis Asthma wrote, "Call UPS and report the attempted fraud. Ask them how the request to reschedule was being made either online, via phone, etc., and let them know about the Uber drivers trying to retrieve the package." The OP replied, "Yeah, I called already and laid the whole situation out. They basically said that they're handling it internally, so I guess that's in their hands now." Another user named Family in Alicante wrote, "Did you file a police report?" The OP replied, "I didn't. I figured if more people kept showing up at my house, I would, but it's been nothing since the day of. I contacted Apple and UPS and was going to hit up Uber as well. After posting here, it seems like it would be worth it to let the cops know as well." Our next story is Living with a Scam, My Husband's Romance Scam from the Inside. My husband Alan has been in a romance scam for months. I'm still living with him while it unfolds. I'm not here for advice on how to confront him. I've done enough research to know that that doesn't work. I'm here to document what this actually looks like from the inside, in real time, because I couldn't find many accounts like this when I needed them. If you're in something similar, or you've been through it, or you just want to understand how these operations work on real people, I'll be posting the story in parts. It starts with a dating app. It ends somewhere I can't see yet. Kylie is an American Marine stationed in Poland. She has a 4-year-old daughter in boarding school back in America. Her ex-husband froze their joint account that has almost $600,000 in it. She needs the money because of the frozen account she has with her ex-husband. The money orders were sent to Indonesia. They've been together approximately 4 months. He's never seen her face on video, never spoken on the phone. He's completely convinced she's real. I'm his wife of 35 years. I'm not falling apart. I'm not begging him to come back. I'm not confronting him or issuing ultimatums. I've separated our finances, made a report to the bank, and I'm watching this unfold with the clarity of someone who has accepted what's happening. It sucks big time. Alan didn't go looking for a scam. He went looking for something he felt he had lost. He was on a dating app. Within days, Kylie suggested they move to WhatsApp. No more app oversight. No more paper trail. Just 2 people in a private line. This was move number 1 in the romance scam playbook. In early December, I told Alan I wanted to work on our marriage. He agreed. He told our daughter the same, that he knew Kylie was a scam, that he and I were going to try. I went to bed thinking we had a chance. By the next morning, everything had changed. He messaged our daughter to say it wasn't a scam after all. He told me there were too many memories for us to work on the marriage. Something happened in those hours. I'll never know what exactly Kylie said to him that night, but she got him back. This is what professional operations do. They watch for that moment of doubt, they have a script for it, and it works. Let's talk about money. The first withdrawal from our joint account, Alan said it was a part for our tractor. Plausible, we do have a tractor. That part could cost that much, except it was a money order, and it went to Indonesia. The second money order, he didn't explain at all. Then money appeared in our joint account and disappeared again. Bounced through, origin unknown, destination unknown. Alan said he was doing a favor for a friend. I separated our finances that week. Alan said nothing. Let me tell you how I believe Kylie convinced Alan she was real. Her profile picture returned nothing on a reverse image search. Alan took that as proof. She provided her social security number and personal bank account details. Both matched her name. Alan verified them himself. What he doesn't know is that professional operations have answers for every question a cautious person might ask. Fake social security numbers, accounts set up in stolen names, profile pictures that have never appeared online before. They build a person from scratch, complete with receipts. Alan is one of the most intelligent people I know. That's not a throwaway line, it matters, because if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. I don't have access to her photo, nor do I hear or see their messaging. I'm completely in the dark as to what is happening. The only intel I get is from what he tells our daughter. He was supposed to travel to America in early February to bring her back to Australia to live. Obviously, that time has passed. He told me he and Kylie planned on letting me stay living in my house and they would keep it as a joint asset. Lucky me, being allowed to remain in the house I co-own. Sadly, she tried to get discharged in time for Christmas, but it was denied. So since then, she's been appealing over and over again, and the military keeps denying, so she'll keep trying. There's so much more to tell about the story. Everyone who hears the story immediately flags it as a scam. He denies it is. I'll keep filling in details, keep updating as things unfold. You can see for yourself how full of plot holes Kylie's story is. Stay safe out there. So, I'm assuming the only reason OP's still with this guy is because OP co-owns the house. I mean, I can't imagine any other reason. I mean, I would want to get separated from this guy so there's no, legal responsibility or hang up over money or assets or anything because that guy clearly wants to give everything away to this Kylie, who's probably more likely a Kyle off in Indonesia. In the comments, a user named GoodnightHawk wrote, "Why are you still with him?" I ask not to judge, but genuinely curious. The OP replied, "The simple answer is, where else would I go? This is my home too. We own it jointly. I can't make him leave and I'm not going to be the one who walks away from everything I've built. I have animals that need me here. I have a future that depends on decisions made carefully, not reactively. I've already protected our finances. I'm not funding the scam. I'm not sitting here passively. I'm making strategic decisions about my own life while managing an incredibly difficult situation. Divorce is not a magical solution. It's a legal process that takes time, costs money, and doesn't make any of the practical realities disappear. I'll make that decision when I have enough information to make it properly. Right now, I'm staying in my own home, protecting what's mine, and waiting for this to play out." Another user named Successful Bobcat asked, "What was he like before this? Has he done anything like this before?" The OP replied, "No, never." The OP then left an update in the comments writing, "Update, I want to answer some of the questions. First, in Australia, we don't file for divorce straight off. You have to have been separated from your spouse for a year before you can apply. Second, I can't just kick him out of the house. He's a joint owner and has a legal right to live here. Third, I can't go to the police and report him for money laundering. I saw the money move through the account, but I have no proof as to where it came from or where it went. Fourth, if he is moving money, the bank will pick up on it. His account is flagged and will be being watched." Kylie has been quieter for the last couple of weeks. She claims she's doing humanitarian work. This started before the situation in Iran. The constant messaging picks up again around his payday, lasts for a day or so, then goes quieter again. Yet another page out of the scammer playbook. Our next story is, my girlfriend is caught up in what I believe is a scam involving Kokomo Tours. Need help convincing her. My girlfriend is currently involved in what I strongly believe is a scam. She was originally contacted by a company called Kokomo Tours, who told her they were interested in buying her timeshare. Before that, though, she had been in touch with another company that made a similar offer, which unfortunately turned out to be a scam, and she lost nearly $60,000. After she mentioned this to Kokomo Tours, they claimed they could help her sue the scammers. Now, they're telling her that she's won a $124,000 payout, supposedly through a class action suit, and that the Department of Justice is involved, but here's the catch. They're saying the check is being held by customs for some reason, and she needs to pay a percentage fee to get it released. It all sounds extremely suspicious to me. Red flags everywhere, but she believes it's legit. And to make matters worse, she's already sent them another $20,000. She's emotionally and financially invested in this, and I'm struggling to convince her it's a scam. Has anyone seen something like this before? Any tips on how to help someone snap out of this before it gets worse? Thanks in advance. Any insider guidance would mean a lot. Edit, thank you so much to everyone who took the time to comment and offer advice. I truly appreciate it. I haven't shown this to her yet, but I plan to. Depending on how things go, I might make an update post to share what happens next. Thanks again for the support. In the comments, a user named Clash by Night wrote, "So she got scammed once, and now this other group tells her they can get her money back? Yeah, sounds like she got scammed, and now she's dealing with recovery scammers. She's trapped in a sunk cost fallacy. You've got to convince her that she's never going to get her initial investment back, and now she's only throwing good money after bad." The OP replied, "To me, it's 100% clear it's a scam. No doubt about it. But she just won't see it. I don't know if it's because she already sent them the money and doesn't want to believe it was for nothing, or if she's clinging to hope, but she's fully convinced it's legit. They even sent her a picture of the supposed check, and she's taking that as proof. I've tried explaining all the red flags, but nothing seems to get through. I honestly don't know how to break through to her at this point." Another user named Utah's Devil wrote, "Tell her to look up the class action lawsuit she was allegedly a part of online to see if it exists, or if it resolved, or if the payouts to the members are in the amount she's being told. Then ask her, why would she have to pay any money to get this check? And why wouldn't they just take any fees off the top of the amount of the check? Then tell her to look up procedurally how class action lawsuits actually work, and she'll see that there is literally no way it resolved the way she's being told, because there is no class action lawsuit. This is all garbage for like 500 other reasons, but start there." The OP replied, "I've already checked for cases. They don't exist. The case is supposedly taking place in the Eastern District of Louisiana, and I even called the court directly to ask if anything involving Kokomo Tours existed. They couldn't find anything. I told her about the call, and then she told the scammers, and of course they came back with some BS excuse saying that the case is private, and that's why it doesn't show up in the system. I've done everything I can to prove to her it's a scam, but she still won't believe me. She's hanging on to the hope that the money is real, and I think that hope is keeping her from seeing the truth." The OP then goes on to post an update 8 months later. Update, my girlfriend is still being scammed by Kokomo Tours, and I'm at my breaking point. About 8 months ago, I posted here about my girlfriend being scammed by a company calling itself Kokomo Tours. I'm posting an update because I honestly don't know what to do anymore, and I'm at my wit's end. Despite everything that was explained to her back then, she is still sending these people money. I have sat down with her multiple times and calmly explained how none of what they're telling her makes sense. I've gone step by step, explaining how legitimate lawsuits, settlements, customs, and government agencies actually work. Nothing changes. Recently, they sent her an email impersonating Department of Justice officials. I've attached the email in this post. I personally contacted both people named in the email. Neither replied, but I was able to confirm one of them does not even work at the Department of Justice anymore. When I showed this to my girlfriend, she didn't argue, she just stayed quiet. At this point, the financial damage is severe. She's not paid her car payment in 3 months. She's not paid her mortgage in 2 months. She has 3 personal loans she's not paying. She has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. She's borrowing from family, neighbors, coworkers, and pretty much anyone she can ask. She owes money to most of the people in her life. She is drowning in debt and still believes this payout is coming. The only reason I haven't left is because if I do, she will literally have nothing. Not even enough money for groceries for herself and her child. That's the only thing keeping me here, but every time I find out she sent them more money, things get harder. It feels like I'm watching someone self-destruct in slow motion, and I'm powerless to stop it. What makes this even more disturbing is that she told me the people from Kokomo Tours said that they know I'm posting about them on Reddit and that they watch this subreddit. That doesn't sound suspicious at all, right? I know this post is part venting, but I genuinely have no one else to talk to about this. I'm exhausted, angry, scared for her future, and honestly starting to feel trapped myself. If anyone has dealt with something like this, or has advice beyond what's already been given, I'm open to hearing it. At this point, I don't know what else to do. Thanks for reading. So I'll try to put it on the screen, but apparently there really is like a supposed letter from the Department of Justice, which obviously is very easy to fake. You just take a letterhead from online, even with the seal on it, and you just change the words around. I mean, you don't even have to change the names on there as long as you can find some kind of statement online to just text edit. It makes you wish that there was a point where you could actually step in and get a proper intervention, because this person is clearly harming themselves by making illogical decisions. In the comments, a user named Anahata wrote, "That fake DOJ letter is a real red flag parade. A protection legal plan is retroactive and will protect you in all ways. It's incoherent." You may want to point out that the alleged Citibank email address the scammer gave her, why Citibank would be involved at all is another incoherency, was created on October 6th of this year, and while the Office of Justice Programs does exist, they give and administer grants to communities and law enforcement agencies. They are not an investigative group. But if she still doesn't get it after seeing that letter, she's in deep denial. Pulling her out of it will be a heavy lift. The OP responded, "I've pointed all of this out to her, not just the DOJ letter and the Citibank email, but a dozen of other red flags too. None of it makes a difference. She either brushes it off, changes the subject, or just goes silent. I've done everything in my power to make her open her eyes. I've shown her how the story falls apart. I've even contacted some of the people they are impersonating, but she just refuses to believe it. It's like she's locked in and nothing I say can break through." At this point, I feel like I'm arguing with a wall. I know she's deep in denial, but watching her go further and further into this has been exhausting. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to hear some more crazy and cautionary tales of scams, why not check out that video I did on the left of the screen? Or if you missed my latest video, you can check that out on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time with some more stories.